What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Today, we are going to be, we're going to be talking about something that I discussed in a recent workshop. And it is what I described as the 3 hour work week. I know we've all heard of the 4 hour work week from Tim Ferriss. And some people love the idea, or they're like, well, that's not really the case. You can't really build a 4 hour work week when you actually can. In reality, is that going to be all you're going to do? Probably not. And that's going to come down to discipline and what you have set up and what you've done over the years. I mean, that's something that takes years to get to that level, because not everyone can just take 4 hours and build a business successfully. Although, if we're talking about what we're usually talking about, and that is like building these recurring revenue properties, or these niche properties, as I call them, we can get all of the work done in about 3 hours per week. So I'm one upping Mr. Tim Ferriss. So tell him I said that. No, with all seriousness here. Yes, I have created actually two different 3 hour work weeks. And one of them I'll describe. And if you showed up at the workshop, then you probably will remember this. But I'm going to go through what it looks like for myself right now, some different situations for niche properties. Now, I do other things outside of this. We're talking about if all we did was focus on the niche properties, what would that look like? What does the day look like? What does the week look like? What does the time look like? And there's actually one thing that makes this thing really, really work. So that's what we'll be talking about. Also, before we officially jump in, if you are here and you're watching this live, or if you're on the replay and it's before 3 p.m. Eastern today, which is Wednesday, December 15th, I had to cheat there and look down. We're doing our BCA office hours call. And today we're going to be reviewing 5 websites of our members inside of Brand Creators Academy. So a lot of cool stuff happening. I did a hot seat session yesterday with Karen, who I don't know if is on with us. She comes on every now and then, but if she is joining us even later, Karen, that was a good call. I think we identified a lot of really cool things. And I think we also identified a couple of issues that we need to just fix, and focus on. And I think we got a lot of clarity. If you are in Brand Creators Academy, that hot seat is going to be uploaded either today or tomorrow. It'll be inside of the members portal. So make sure you check that out. I think you're going to enjoy it. When we went for about an hour, I think an hour. Yeah. And Karen is here and she says, I've been working hard. Yes, she has. She's been working her tail off, and maybe a little bit too hard, Karen. I think we identified that too. Maybe a little bit too hard. We got to just take that energy and that focus and shift it over here a little bit. So that way there we can focus on the things that will give us higher returns and kind of sure up that leaky bucket, as we talked about, which is kind of like how to recuperate, or how to recover, money from money that you're spending. And that's always important, whether we're building websites, or niche properties and getting the money eventually to come back, or if we're running Facebook ads on, leads and we're getting leads, how do we recoup that money? So what's up, Ronnie? This is my first time listening live. Good information. Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks for showing up, and I'm glad you're here. All right, cool. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, though, as far as the 3 hour work week. But if you are inside of Brand Creators Academy, that's our private community, our private group, where we have all resources and we do hot seats, just like I did yesterday with Karen. And then we do these live website reviews. We do office hours calls, and we're going to be doing something brand new starting in 2022, which is what we're calling our Niche Properties Insider. And it's kind of like a video newsletter where we're going to be taking one niche that's being sold on the marketplace, and we're going to be tearing it down piece by piece, block by block, and we're going to be identifying how they're getting their traffic. We're going to get inspiration for our own content for traffic, and we're also going to be able to look at monetization and ad networks that they're running, and then how we can create a 90-day plan as if we were to buy this, and what we would do moving forward. So that's coming in Brand Creators Academy. If you are interested in joining us, we are currently closed and we're only by private invite. If you would like to join us inside of Brand Creators Academy, either DM me or send me an email. And you can just send me an email, Scott at brandcreators.com. And I will give you some information there. And I can give you a private invite if I think that we're the right fit, or if you're at the right stage. So if you're interested, let me know. Just send me an email and let me know that. All right. So cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, today, I am going to be talking about the 3-hour work week. So I'm going to kick this thing off officially. I've got some slides that I'm going to use, but I'm not going to display them, but I am going to use them. But that's what we're going to be talking about. All right, guys. So here we go. All right, guys. Welcome back to another session, another episode. And today we are going to be talking about the 3-hour niche property work week. What does that exactly mean? What does it look like? And well, we're going to be talking about how myself and others are utilizing something really, really powerful to allow yourself to get a lot of work done in 3 hours. And really, that's all that it will take to build out one of these niche properties and then consistently grow it. And if you want to add more to it. Now, currently, I've got, let's see here, 3 that we're posting about 5 pieces of content per week. Then I have another one that we're soon going to be adding 2 pieces of content per week. And then I have another one. Let me think here. Yeah, the other one we are going to be letting sit for about 30 days, and then we're going to start adding some more content. So right now, let's just say we've got 4 actively going. 3 of them that are getting 5 pieces of content per week. How am I able to do that? And then also, how am I able to do that where it only takes me 3 hours? Okay. Now I'm going to give you 2 different examples, and I'll explain why. But I want you to think about this as you're doing anything at all in your business. Is you need to think about this one powerful thing that once I understood this, once I applied it. So it's one thing to understand it, but it's the thing that makes it work is to actually do it. And that's what a lot of people don't do because they get distracted, and that is batching. All right. And what do I mean by batching? It's like when you understand what you're supposed to be working on for a certain period of time, right? And the problem nowadays is we have so many different things that we could be working on. We either get bored with one thing, so we skip to another, or we put it off because we don't want to do it because we just want something else to do that seems more fun. And an example of that is like keyword research. Like that is fun for me. I love doing that. I could do that all day long, every single day. The problem is I can do that, but if I don't actually get the content written, published, optimized, it's not going to ever see any traffic, right? So we have to do the things sometimes that aren't as fun. And there's some ways that we can, have other people help us with that or even do it for us. All right. So again, in the very, very beginning though, I will say this, you're probably going to do more than 3 hours a week. Right. And what I mean by that is like when you're first building out a niche property, you're going to be doing more upfront work, right? There's more work to be done in the beginning. Not hard. And it'll take a little bit of time. And usually you can get it done fairly quickly. And I say fairly quickly, like within 7 to 14 days, depending on how much you want to put into it. Even if you only did an hour a day, you probably can get everything done and built. So now you can get into the rhythm of posting and optimizing and doing all of those things in keyword research. So all the core things that happen when you have one of these niche properties. All right. So let me just kind of give you the rundown as far as what it looks like. There's actually 5 different things that we need to look at when we are building one of these things out. Now, one little thing here I want to throw out there is you do not want to overcomplicate this. You do not want to overcomplicate this. I see a lot of people overcomplicating things, and that's when it gets hard because then you're doing things that you don't necessarily need to do, or you're thinking about things that you think that need to be done now and they don't. All right. So here's the core things. All right. Number 1 is we need a home base. We need to build the property, right? We need the property to be built. And in this case, it's a niche property, which is a website, right? And so here's something that I want you to think about. When you are building a website, don't spend weeks or months thinking up your name, thinking up or drawing up the best logo, or coming up with the slickest theme. That stuff is a waste of time. All right. Now, having a good name, that's probably worth a little bit of time, but no more than probably, I don't know, a few hours. And the reason why I say that is because the name, it needs to represent your niche, but it doesn't have to be perfect. All right. And I would say go broader versus going like super niche, right? Like if I was going to go into bass fishing, it wouldn't be bass fishing, extreme.com. It would be something around outdoors. Maybe it would have fishing in it. But it wouldn't be only talking about that one because I want to be able to go wider if I want to. Okay. So the very first thing we need to do though is we need to come up with a name. The other thing is you want to do a little bit of a research there on trademarks and anything like that. You don't want to get in any legal trouble. And again, I'm not a legal advisor, so do your due diligence there. Just because it's on GoDaddy doesn't mean that it's not trademarked. Ask me how I know. Years ago, I had an issue with a domain name, and that's why I know that. So do your trademark research. You can do that by just going to the .gov website for trademarks. Do a trademark search. And then if you really love a name and you're thinking like you might be, there might be something else out there, or if it came back as it could be possibly, an issue, then I would reach out to an attorney. But at this stage, I would just come up with something that is not trademarked, but also that's kind of a little bit different. Okay. But do not spend too much time on this. All right. And then picking out your hosting. GoDaddy has their own, but there's HostGator, there's SiteGround. We use SiteGround now. Just pick one of the more reputable ones and then go with it. And then from there, don't overcomplicate the theme. We use Generate Press. It's free. You can get the paid version for like $50 a year. Simple, it's fast, and it works well. So that's it. So we're done, right? That might take the initial setup. If you're gung-ho, you could probably get that all done if you have your domain name done and all that stuff, or your domain name picked and purchased on GoDaddy. I mean, you could probably have that set up in an afternoon, right? And so then when the next piece comes in is keyword research. Then we have to start researching our content. This is, again, where some people can spend weeks on this. We only really got to come up with like 5 to 10 different pieces of content to start the process. All right. Then we get into content creation. That's the third block. The fourth block is then optimization and publishing. And then the fifth one is pretty simple. You're going to monetize, and that's like display ads. That's what we're starting with. We're just going to turn on some display ads and call it a day. So that's like the building blocks. That's it. That's what we got to do. And you can see in the beginning, building the property, that's going to take a little bit more of the time. Keyword research in the beginning, you're new at it, and then probably content creation. Okay. Publishing and stuff, pretty simple as well. So let's kind of get into it. What does it actually look like? I'm going to share with you my 3-hour work week, and then I'll give you if someone was brand new or if someone was doing more of the work themselves. All right. And I can still get it to a 3-hour work week. All right. So here's my 3-hour work week. All right. This is my time batching. Very, very important that you remember time batching. All right. If you want to get stuff done, make sure that you batch it. Okay. And I don't mean sitting down and then doing all of your tasks at once. Pick one task and then go really, really, focused on that one thing. So here it is. Keyword research. Again, this is after everything's built and all that stuff. Keyword research, okay, is going to be 45 minutes a week. That's it. Okay. 45 minutes. Okay. And from there, all that I'm doing is I'm going to be sending my writer, and in this case, I have writers, but let's just say I'm sending my writer weekly topics. That's going to take me 15 minutes because all I'm doing is I'm taking 45-minute block. I'm going after the keywords. I'm researching the keywords. Then I'm going to pick. If I'm going to have 5 articles written, I got to pick 5. I send those 5 off to my writer. I input them into a spreadsheet so I know that I've already covered those. I can also make a little note next to it when they're done or they're in process, and I'm done. Like that's it. Okay. So now it's keyword research, send it off to the writer, and then the writer is going to go to work and start writing those pieces of content. People ask me, Scott, where do you get it done? Where do you get your content written? There's a variety of different ways. iWriter.com is a good one. FreeUp, Upwork, Fiverr. People ask me about that. I haven't had really good luck with Fiverr, so I don't really go there. And the cool thing is when you find a writer, though, you can usually continue to use them and kind of just build a little bit of a relationship. I had this one writer who was with us for about 1.5 years. She had to leave. She had another job opportunity, and she had young kids and stuff. But But think about that. Someone that's good at writing and they can do this on their spare time when the kids are in bed and stuff and make some extra money, it's great for them. And generally, we're paying between $35 and $45 per article for a 1,500 word article, typically. All right, so there's an hour, right? 45 minutes and 15 minutes. Now, I could do those in the same day, or I can just do 45 minutes of keyword research and I'm done with my because once I get rolling with this, I already have stuff in queue and now I'm kind of a week ahead all the time, right? So 45 minutes keyword research, 15 minutes I'm sending off to the writers or the writer. And then from there, we have to optimize and publish the article, okay? And that's going to be 30 minutes tops per article. Now, if I have 4 articles, that's going to be 2 hours, okay? Now, that's typically actually long. I could probably do, I would say 15 to 20 minutes. We can optimize because here's the cool thing. If you have a really good writer and you've made it known that you want them to upload and somewhat optimize your content, format it in the way that you want, add images, royalty-free images and things like that. That's what we're doing. It's set there in draft. So all I need to do is go in. I have my Yoast plugin or Rank Math, whichever one you're using. I'm using Yoast on 2 brands or 2 niches. And then the other one I'm using Rank Math. I'm doing that to test the both, but they're pretty similar. And then I just do the checklist of the optimization. I make sure I do some inner linking, outer linking. I make sure that I drop a YouTube video in there, like all of the optimization stuff that I've talked about in the past. And that's what we're doing. And that's it. And once you get the rhythm of it, it's quick. Okay. So they're doing a lot of the work. So total time there, if we did 4 articles, that's 2 hours, 30 minutes each, right? 45 minutes of keyword research and 15 minutes of sending it off to the writer. 3 hours done. And actually, today is my day to do 45 minutes of keyword research. So I have to do that. I've already sent off content to my writers for the week because I already had them done from the week before. So I'm always a week ahead. And the cool thing is when you do 45 minutes of keyword research and you're focused on just that task, guess what? I can come up with 40, 50 topics. And then I'm not going to have that many written in the following week. So now I start building this huge, database of content that's going to be published over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. Okay. Which is really, really cool. Little side note, if you ever sell your niche property and you have all of these keywords kind of picked for the new owner, that's another perk. That's another benefit that you can give them, which they've already been researched and all of that stuff. So pretty cool. So let's move on to what if you are writing the content yourself? What does that look like? What does that time batching look like? Well, let's run through it together, shall we? All right. So keyword research, 45 minutes. That doesn't change. Outlining the article. Now we're into, okay, we're going to write, and let's just start with 1 article per week. Okay. Let's just say that you're brand new at doing this and you're going to write 1 piece of content per week, which I think everyone should do. Even if you plan on outsourcing it, I would like to see you write at least 1 piece of content per week. You want to know the process. You want to understand it. So that way there you can show your writers what you want. All right. So keyword research, that's not going to change. 45 minutes. Now you could hire someone to do that for you too, but I actually like doing that. So that's always going to be my thing to do. Keyword research, 45 minutes. Outlining the article is 15 minutes. Now outlining the article is very, very easy. We've actually shared this in our content creation challenge. We also share it inside of our niche properties class. But basically, high level view of this is we're going to go ahead, look at the keyword, the long tail keyword, how to catch bass in a pond. And then we're going to let Google tell us from their people also asked what their suggestions are. All right. And then what we're going to do is use some of them if they make sense. Then also down on the bottom, it gives you other suggestions from that keyword that you inputted in the first place. So we'll build 5, maybe 7 bullets or subheads where we can then elaborate on that are related to the first one. And that also allows us to potentially rank for some of these other subtopics. All right. So that's going to be outlining the article. Okay. Now the next one, okay, is going to be researching for the article. Okay. So if we're outlining the article, now we got to do research, 30 minutes. So we're just going to research those different topics. And we really just have to have something that's going to be, 250, 300 words per section. That's it, right? It's kind of like you're doing a paper for school. It's the same idea, right? And then what we're going to do, that's 30 minutes on that, on doing the research. And then writing the content is going to be 60 minutes. All right. So an hour to write the content, to fill in the blanks, basically. And then optimizing and publishing the article is going to be 30 minutes. That's your 3 hours. Now, I would not do that all in one day. Okay. I would do 45 minutes of keyword research and I would probably call it a day. Or if you want, you could do keyword research and then outline one article. That would be an hour. Then if we're going to get into the research, I wouldn't do that in the same day. Now, what you could do is you could do, maybe what you'll do is 45 minutes of keyword research. You're going to do that day one. Day two, you're going to outline the article and do the research for the article. And that's going to be 45 minutes total, 15 minutes for the outline and 30 minutes for the research. And then the following day, you're going to sit down and write the content in 60 minutes, in an hour. And then you're going to be done. And then the following day, you're going to come back and you're going to optimize and publish the article for 30 minutes. And that's it. If you just stick to that little schedule, you will have a piece of content written every single week. All right. Now, if you want to scale that up, maybe you're going to do 2 of those, or maybe you're going to do one yourself and hire someone to do another one, or 2 or 3. All right. So that is your 3-hour work week for building out these niche properties. Now, again, in the beginning, it's going to take you a little bit longer because you got to build the website. Not hard, right? Not hard at all. And if you know what, if you don't want to build the website yourself, which take you probably 15 minutes if you follow a little tutorial, hire someone on Fiverr. I found people on Fiverr, they'll do it for $30, $50. If you want to find someone that's, $60 because they have a little bit more experience, fine, but it's really not that hard. They're probably going to go in and they're going to use there's a little wizard in your host that says WordPress install, and they'll click that. It will install everything for you. And then they just have to add a theme and they're going to hand it back over to you and charge you $30. It's basically what it is. If you want to do that, fine. I think you could do it yourself though. All right. So that is it. That is our 3-hour work week for building niche properties. That's it. So I would recommend doing that. I would recommend sitting down and writing that out. You might want to go back and listen to this one again and write that out and give it a shot. Let me know if that's something that you did, and that maybe you can let me know how it went for you. And I promise you this, it will definitely get easier the more you do it. It's like anything, right? It's like anything. Now, if you are interested in building out a niche property, you want help, we have a class. You guys know that probably by now. If you're interested in getting more information about that, checking it out, head on over to buildnicheproperties.com. Again, that's buildnicheproperties.com. And you can get more details over there. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, have an awesome, amazing day. See you soon. Cut. All right, guys. We got any questions on that? Hopefully I'm still going here. Okay, cool. Gio, what's up, Gio? Good to see you, man. Okay, how much time do you spend every day planning your day and your week? Here's what I prefer to do, Gio. Love this question too, by the way. What I like to do is I like to plan it out the Sunday or the Monday. Okay, so Sunday before or Monday morning, right? So Monday morning might be the task, the batch part of the process, or the batching hour might be sitting down and lining out what I want to get done for the week. Now, the one thing is you got to understand, like I can add a ton of things that I want to do, but in reality, what are the most important things that you want to know at the end of the week are done, right? And then what I would do is I would write all those down, and then I would categorize them and I would put them into batches. Once you start doing this stuff on a regular basis, you're pretty much going to have a similar list every single week, right? Like I just said, like my keyword research is pretty much penciled in, and that is the time slot that I do that. Okay. Nothing else gets blocked off in that time. That is the time I sit down, a cup of coffee, maybe, and I'll do keyword research. Now, with that being said, I'll set the timer for 45 minutes. If I'm in a groove, I might go an hour on keyword research. You know why? Because I can. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't have a boss going like, okay, that was it. Time's up. Test is over. I'm like, no, man, I'm in a groove right now. I found a nice little vein here that I'm going down. I'm going to keep going. So I might go a little bit longer on that, but typically 45 minutes is a good number. And then I can get up, take a break, and then I can work on something else. It's just like these here, right? I have my coffee talks. They're scheduled. right? They're scheduled Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Part of that scheduling and doing them live is it keeps me accountable. It keeps me where I have to show up, right? Or I might put it off. Plus, I got people like you hanging out with me in the morning, which is kind of cool. I like that. But yeah, so I have to plan that out. Same thing with like coming up with like topics and ideas. Like, what am I going to talk about? Well, I sit down. I actually block out about 45 minutes and I start going through questions that come in. I start going through what are common obstacles that people are facing. And then I start outlining what are my coffee talks going to be about? And then what are my podcasts? What are going to turn into podcasts? So that all goes into it, right? So you have to, depending, if you're running like multiple businesses, that's when you have to kind of like categorize. And you have to say, okay, this block of time or this day, this theme for the day is going to be all about my podcast. This theme of this day is going to be all about niche properties. This one here over on this side is going to be about serving my Brand Creators Academy community, right? So you have to figure out what are all the things that you're working on. And also you have to ask yourself, which ones do you want to work on and continue to work on and that are showing the most rewards, whether that's gratification for yourself or if it's gratification plus ROI, so you want to look into that stuff. So anyway, long-winded answer, but that's what I would say. Yeah. How do you set up your work schedule daily? It's pretty simple for me, right? Because everything, and this is how it's always worked for us, even when I'm going back into my photography days, is what are the kids' schedule? And then I build out around that. So I give you an example. We were doing our Brand Creators Academy bi-weekly calls. We were doing them on Thursday at 3 p.m. My daughter started beach volleyball with a new club about an hour and 40 minutes away. So, and that's on Thursdays, and we have to be there by 5:30. So we got to leave here by no later than 2:30, 3 o'clock, just to give ourselves time. So that time slot didn't work. So guess what I did? I moved it to Wednesday because Wednesday we don't have anything, right? So I always build everything out around my kids' stuff, typically. Okay. So that's what I would say. So when I'm I know that my mornings from like 8 o'clock to noon, 1 o'clock are pretty much nothing is going to get in the way of that. My daughter's in school. She's doing virtual school, but she's still in school. And then my wife is kind of doing her stuff and that's my time. Right. So I typically try to make it between 8 and 12, 8 and 1, somewhere in there. Now, again, if I have like a Brand Creators Academy call, like I do today at 3 p.m. Eastern, well, I'm going to jump back in at 3 o'clock. I'm going to do an hour and a half worth of work technically, and then I'm done. Right. And then the evening is mine. So pretty much I would say from 8 to noon, 8 to 1 is kind of like my block. And that doesn't mean it's all work in that time. I usually do like an hour and then 15 minutes off, an hour, 15 minutes off, and I'll get up and I might even go out and use the leaf blower and blow off, some of the leaves or something. And that kind of clears my mind. I enjoy it. I get exercise. Kind of weird like that with the leaf blower. My kids will tell you, they're like, oh, dad's out there with the leaf blower again. Loves that darn thing. I do. It's electric too, by the way. Why would you upgrade a theme? Well, in the very beginning, I don't know that you need to. It would only be if there was a feature that you wanted. And in our case, in the very beginning, I wanted the homepage to have blocks, which they didn't have. And then after I did get that feature, I seen that I really didn't need that feature and we don't even use it anymore. So that's the only reason. There might be something else. And I'm trying to think if it was something to do with maybe the widgets or something like that. I forget right now, to be honest with you, but we did upgrade. It's $50 a year. But you don't need to. In the beginning, we were just using the free. Oh, what up, Professor Apple? I love the Apple. How much time do you give yourself to boost engagement on your articles? Pinterest. Okay. So again, that's something that would be in the process. Or that you would add into the process. And that would be something that you wouldn't have to do all the time. But as far as like, if we're talking about like, is it part of like standard protocol? In the very beginning, I say in the beginning, in the first like 18 months, we were, every single post was getting a pinnable image. It was also going up on a board, a few boards, one of our best of boards. And then that was part of the process. And then recently, because we added another couple of niche properties, our bandwidth got a little bit less. So I pulled back on that. And so now we're actually starting that back up again. So I would say if you can build that in, it should, again, the setup might take you the most time, but then after that, it's kind of like create a pin in Canva, bring it over, post it up on Pinterest, link it back to your site and get out of there. So I would say, I would give myself in that process, creating the Canva image, which is a template. And we share the template inside of BCA. So just a template in Canva and just, modify it to the post and then go to your Pinterest account and then post it on a couple of boards, one of them being your best of board, and then get out of there. Like that's it. So probably 15 minutes to create the pin. I mean, that could take you less than 5 minutes if you have a template. How long to take to decide on a niche? I mean, if you're in the niche discovery, like I have to, I'm going to try to pick a new niche. I mean, I have more right now than I know what to do with. And that's just because I'm doing a lot of research, even just for BCA. And again, like it's a little tricky because people in BCA, I would never want to take a niche from someone else. Although there is like side, sub niches that people have probably either started on mine. But that's okay. But I would say to give yourself more than a week is a lot. I think you should be able to decide in a week's time. And you have to pull the trigger. You have to just go, okay, I did the research. And again, blocking out that time. I'm going to give myself this much time to do, the basic keyword or the basic research for niche validation. Then I'm going to do a little bit more of a dig on that to make sure that I've validated everything. Then I'm going to start going through, okay, domain name, all that stuff. So, I mean, literally I wouldn't take longer than a week. Because if you do, then you're going to put it off for 2 weeks and 3 and 4. And then we're going to be back here 6 months from now and be like, how do I pick my niche? We got to pick that niche, right? And it might not be the perfect niche, but it's okay. You're going to learn the process. And that's really the most important part here. All right. So guys, that is going to wrap up this coffee talk. This was good. Any suggestions for Friday's jam session? Give me a heads up in the comments if you have anything that you want me to talk about for this one or even ones in the future. But if you are here and you're inside of Brand Creators Academy, you're one of our members. We are doing a 5 website review call today. It's one of our office hours calls. And we are going to be breaking down 5 different websites of our members. And we're going to be critiquing them, but also giving advice. And then also we're going to do a little bit of deep analysis. I'm going to bring them into Ahrefs and we're going to do a little bit of digging, even looking at some of their competition so we can give them a couple of things to go and chew on for their own individual website. So again, if you're inside of BCA, we have our call 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that's your little reminder. If you're not in BCA and you would like to become a member, it's currently closed, but we do send out private invites. And if you would like one of those, you would have to either jump on the wait list, which I'm not sure if there's even a link up yet, but you can just email me, scott@brandcreators.com, and then just in the subject line, put something like interested or interested in BCA or information, something like that. And then I will get it and I will forward you over some information. All right. So lots of great things coming down the pipe. We've got, for the Brand Creators Academy, we got Niche Properties Insider, which is going to be happening here soon. It's like a video newsletter we're coming up with. We're going to be running that here very, very soon, which is going to be awesome. We're going to be taking some niche properties that are currently selling and we're going to be breaking them down, tearing them down, and looking at their content. We're going to be seeing what content is working, if we can discover any things that we can apply to our own niches. And then also we're going to be looking at their monetization, what it's paying, what we can expect to get paid in this niche if we were to go in that niche. And then from there, we're going to give our members a 90-day blueprint of what we would do if we were to buy it and fix it up and get it ready for either holding or selling. So that's coming. Can't wait for that. It's going to be fun. All right, guys, that is it. That's going to wrap up this coffee talk. I got to run. I don't know if you can hear the noise there. I'm having my kitchen cabinets painted. It's going to be a whole week process. It's pretty intense. But Yeah, they got the vacuums going. So if you can hear that, I apologize. I'll see you guys Friday. If you have any thing for Friday's jam session, drop it in the comments. And all you BCAers, I'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Take care, guys. Bye.